Halal HaWah. HaWah, you are my power. I will exalt you. I will praise your name. For you have done wonderful things. Even counsels of old in faithfulness and in truth. For you have made a city, a heap of a fortified city, a ruin, a castle of strangers, to be no city. It shall never be built. Therefore shall the strong people glorify you. The city of the terrible nations shall fear you. For you have been a stronghold to the poor, a stronghold to the needy in his distress, a refuge from the storm, a shadow from the heat. For the blast of the terrible ones was as a storm against the wall, as the heat in a dry place. You did subdue the noise of strangers. As the heat of the shadow of a cloud, the song of the terrible ones was brought low, and in the mountain will HaWah of hosts make unto all peoples a feast of fat things, a feast of wine on the lees, of fat things full of marrow, of wine on the lees well refined. And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering that is cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. He will swallow up death forever. And HaWah will wipe away all the tears from off all faces. HaWah, and the reproach of his people will he take away from off all the earth. Everybody jamming us up. Everybody cursing us. But first we got to stop cursing each other and cursing ourselves. For HaWah has spoken it, and it shall be said in that day, lo, this is our power, for whom we waited, my nigga. We ain't waiting on no one else. We ain't waiting on nothing else but our Creator to pop it off, to put us back in our pressed flow, to put us back in our frequency. We can't skip over this major part of direct communication, direct connection, because it's been too long. Israel's been a long time without a Khan. Because you murdered your direct connection. We're talking about murder, and before we even talk about the obvious, my nigga. I mean the obvious, my nigga. You gotta talk about the murder. You know what I'm saying? The severance of your frequency. You've severed your frequency. You murdered your frequency by being out of code. See, this code is not play. It's your acceptance, my nigga. It's your entrance. It's how you get through the portal. It's how you spiral up, man, so you can get out of these loops. And ain't no crazier loop than that of the murder, my nigga. Between brother on brother and sister on sister. Son on father, father on son. Daughter on mother, mother on daughter. Cousin on cousin, homie on homie. Because I'm born over this way, I'm an op. Because I know these people over here, they ops, or, because we this and we that, or something happened and we don't even know what we killing each other for no more. It's vanity. Didn't we just talk about vanity in part 2? This is part 3 of the Code Keepers series for the Code Keepers only. We're talking murder. Yeah, we murder each other. But we first had to murder our own flow. Yeah, we got a lot of flow. We got a lot of swag. We got a lot of, we got a lot of glow. But nothing compared to our true potential, man. And what's holding us down, what's holding us back, is the constant severance. Severing your ties, severing your connection will every single time get you to be the tail and not the head. And I know you tired of being the tail, my nigga. I know you tired of being in last place. knowing that you should be in first place, not in a sense of racism, but in a sense of order, my nigga. Because Israel, HaWah, is in first place, my nigga. The Creator's tribes on this earth, did you forget? Lest the hijack lulled you to sleep and you forgot, you're in first place. You're the regal nigga. That's order, not racism, nigga. That's order. You know what I'm saying? These tribes that have been shunned and murdered. See, they murdered us to get this land, huh? But then they teach us about JC, huh? Where they do that at? I think we need to dodge our own hijack. They murder us to get the land, but it becomes a Christian nation? That should let you know what a Christian is. Where do we get in that OWASP definition? A band of brothers bringing war with the sword or the gun? That's a definition of a Christian in the OWASP Bible, my nigga. So, yeah, they bringing that Zeus frequency, right? They bringing war, right? They bringing that Zeus, right? But even before all that, we talking more and more. And the only way that Moab and, Edom and anyone else got the drop on Israel is that we were murdering each other, right? We had good kings, we had bad kings, we had good leaders and bad leaders, out of code and in code. When we read about it, we see that we were consciously attacking each other, consciously bearing false witness, consciously covetous, consciously adulterers, consciously breaking our oaths, breaking our Shabbat, putting the power before power, constantly doing everything for vanity, constantly stealing from each other, my nugget, because of the covetousness. This is why it's the Code Keeper series, because I know you want to break free. This, man, is for the naga in the back of the class, man. I hear you calling now. I hear you moving up to the front of the class right now, my naga. Shit, you could teach the class right now, my naga, because you popping off. Let me be in the back of the class. I want you to pop off. This the fifth wave, my naga. It's a more and more war, dog. It's a black on black war, right? Wicked on wicked, because we're out of code, nagas. We're only as strong as our weakest link, and ain't nothing weaker than, a naga that's just out of control. You know what I'm saying? Because you weakened your spiral. You can't get out the loop. You think you got to be a hood nigga now. You think you got to be from that set or that gang or that, whatever, man. But you from a tribe. What did Waka Flocka say? We from a tribe, man. Yeah, you from this block and your grandma moved over here, so you from over here, and your mama then had to move over there. You can't control all this, man, but we family, man. And who am I, man, to tell you, not to get revenge for a family member or loved one that was taken from you, not to continue to, get revenge, my nigga. Who am I to tell you that, right? I ain't from your block. I ain't from your set. I ain't from your city. I ain't put no work into them streets. Hey, I'm over here in Joy World, though. I'm in Joy World, man, because I choose to be in Joy World. If we make this choice, we can break this loop. We can break the cycle for real, for real. And we can get what's coming to us from our Creator. And what's coming? He will swallow up death forever. So the cycle will be broke whether you choose to obey the Creator, the code, or not. But the cycle of death we in, because we know one thing, love to, the fam, Smooth B, he loved the Smooth B, man. Yeah, he said, they mark it off to death. Now, I think that was Gene, I love the Gene Deal. I think he said that. He said, they marketing on that death. They making more money off these artists' death, right? And I just had this thought, man. I said, damn, what if they just sat in the room and dropped Sterry, man, Big and Puff and Pocket and Suge, you know what I mean? And all them sat in the room and said, hey, we can make way more money if we pull this off for the public. I'm just saying it might be on one of them islands, all them islands, across across the pole, man. World's beyond the pole. I'm just saying, man, like, they're just marketing off death, man. They make way more off death in the music world, right? You're like, why they take that artist? They was about to do this, but these labels, they make way more off the death, man. The whole point is the death for them. It's all the cycle of death. So they have this, demon time, right? This devil, frequency, this adversary frequency, because the devil is just an adversary, but they made us the adversary of each other, right? But we've been that. It's been more on more, because someone's been covetous. We're going to get the coveting, right? Yeah, we're going to get the coveting. And HaWah will wipe away tears from all faces, and the reproach of his people he will take away. Ain't nobody else trying to take away our frequency. HaWah is taking that off the earth, man. HaWah has spoken it, and it shall be in that day. Lo, this is our power for whom we waited. It shall be said, we waited on HaWah. He might save us. This is our HaWah, whom we waited. We will be glad and rejoice in his salvation. This ain't talking about no JC, right? No, this is our power, not Jesus is Lord. No, our power is our power. Our power. He has spoken it, right? It shall be said in that day, this is our power, right? They say God, but we ain't talking no dog frequency, man. We're talking about our power, his salvation. Yeah, man. HaWah has spoken it. He's swallowing up death. What does it mean to swallow up death? There ain't no more sacrifices, right? Right now we doing the sacrificing for them, right? For that power that is now their salvation, right? Because their salvation ain't our salvation. If their salvation is JC, and we're MHOE, my nigga, then we don't have the same power, right? This is our power. HaWah has spoken. So that recognition right there is the first thing to stop this cycle, is to, stop going to some false energy that's been brought to you based on murder. And you're continuing the cycle of the murder from the colonists, right? The mercenaries that came over here destroying our people. Now they got, us doing all that sacrificing for them. But we made the first switch. We made the first, misstep. We started sacrificing to foreign powers, false gods, idols. Now we got a new salvation. This is no longer our salvation. In our people, in our neighborhoods, in our community, if you ask them who's their savior, who's their salvation, wow, that'll be an interesting question. We put that on the Tribe Up forums. Shout out to the Tribe Up forums. We're going to come back with another one and just update it and just get a database for all the code keepers so we can truly tribe up. It's the fifth wave. You're ready to pop off. So, hey, Halal HaWah, look out for us. But we put this question, who's your savior? You'd be surprised the answers that came back. And I said, nah, we ain't ready. We got some work to do. We need a code keeper series, and we'll try this again. Wow. We were even astonished. Some people even put David. And I said, okay, we got some work to do, so that they can see clearly that David is not your savior. The Creator is your savior. And with that, the Creator can call all the Goombas, can call all the tribe. Everyone can come through that power, but that's your power. That's your savior. Most high over everything. Only HaWah can save you, my Nagi. Only HaWah, and whoever HaWah sends as a messenger or Hamashiach, Halal HaWah, but the power goes to HaWah. I can't do nothing without the power of the Creator. I can't function out of code. It wouldn't work, my Nagi. You know what I'm saying? So I could take my time. We could take our time and we could stand on this, my Nagi. We can turn to my Nagas. We can turn to my little homies, my little Nagas. We could turn to the big homies and the big Nagas. We could say, man, put them guns down. We can say that because we're here to say that. Put the guns down. Stop pointing them at each other. The pain from the loss is nothing compared to what's coming. The L's and the W's and the score you keeping is a never-ending game. This ain't what you signed up for, a never-ending game of death. They're marketing death. All their music, they're marketing death. That's why we had to pop off with tribal music. AI, Five Eyes, Ma, Natural by Law, CJ Battle, the real ones. You know what I'm saying? Dizzle, Fitty, J Law. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Yosef, Nine Spiral. You know what I'm saying? Hey, shout out to the fan. Papa Daddy, he got something popping off, man. Hey, out to the fan, Lucky Lamar. Tribal music is popping off, man. So we had to, put the spiral in this flow so that Nagas could say, man, we're going to start making music for us, for the tribe. It ain't about how much we making off of this and this. It's about who we inspire. And because we do it for that, we end up gaining everything. Because we're not doing it for vanity, we gain the world for real, for real. But we gain more than the world, my Naga. We gain life. But the world that was taken from us, our world, we gain our world back. You know what I'm saying? We will be glad and rejoice in his salvation, HaWah's salvation. For in this mountain will be the hand of HaWah rest. Will the hand of HaWah rest? And Moab shall be trodden down in this place. Whoa. What did I tell you, man? It's a more on more war. Man, who sent Charles Kento? Who sent Estebanico Azamore to this promised land? Our oppressors look like us. We're well aware of that. And everything in between is just a straw man. And this black on black crime ism is just really an ism of the real more and more war, black on black. Instead, only one side is black. But I guess we too became black because we became out of code too. We were drawn down, but now we are leading a charge to spiral up. And the frequency we're coming with has been prophesied by every prophet, prophetess, oracle on every single side that the kingdom will rise again and the frequency will be forever and the water will continue. Yeah, it's a more and more war, dog. Moab shall be trodden down, man. Hey, let's look at this definition right quick of murder. Yeah, they took it off, the 1828. The app is good though. I got the app now. I never even knew there was an app. And now I got the app on my phone. But it doesn't do much service when you just dropping it like this. You can't just pull up the app unless you think ahead and do a screenshot. So bang, ping, pow, screenshot. Murder, right? It's a more and more war, dog. I know you didn't expect it to come like this, right? But hey, Halal HaWah. Yeah, we're talking more murder. I never even saw the word more and mortar. I never even saw it until literally, I'm just pulling it up in the 1828. More. Yeah. So at the at the heart of the definition of murder is the more, right? More just means great. So this is a great act being committed, a great crime being committed. Now there is a difference between murder and killing. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason to kill. You know what I'm saying? Hijack comes on your land, trying to take your children and women. There's a reason, right? That's not murder. That's not murder. Murder is like, when they're like really, really thoughtfully planning it out. These, you know, the more, is thoughtfully, skillfully planning out your destruction. And you can mortar on many different levels. You can mortar, physically. You can mortar with the frequency, right? You can mortar many ways. They what's that song, man? Man, oh man, 600 ways to die. But you can mortar many ways. You can mortar somebody's character too. We're gonna talk about that because that connects back to the false witnessing. So you see how the entire code plays when it comes to mortar. How nah, man? I never saw the word more and murder, man. That's crazy though. But yeah, what I mean? Like, there's a lot of ways to murder. You know what I mean? And, yeah, you can assassinate somebody's character, spreading lies is what the hijack do all the time. And we do it to ourselves a lot. We spread stuff that shouldn't be spread. We talk on things we weren't witness to. You know what I'm saying? You might be, hating on someone even when you don't even think you're hating on them. But, you got covetous that you ain't dealing with. And that hate is coming out. And, you might be, murdering someone's character, right? But that is them. It's like your avatar, you know what I'm saying? You can have your avatar, someone murders, your avatar, you cease to exist in this world. You have to go to the metaverse. Oh, man, we're going to get back on that meta. Oh, man, but yeah, murder. The act of unlawfully killing. So there's a lawful killing and there's an unlawful killing of a human being with premeditated malice. So the more and more war had a lot of premeditation to this malice to bring us these false idols, these Atlantean powers to serve, to make us the tail and completely delete us from our own memory. What does it say? Psalms 83. They are confederate against you, so that the name of Israel is remembered no more. But we just talking mortar. We talking mortar, right? Unlawful killing of a human being with premeditated malice by a person of sound mind, right? So they got their sciences and they're saying, how do we slay their dragon? How do we slay them? How do we slay the dragon? What kind of alchemy can we put in? What kind of spells can we cast, right? Now we got spelling. Who created these languages of death, right? Back to the mortar. We're talking about a dead language. I know you didn't see it coming like this, my nigga, because I didn't see it coming like this. Let's talk language, man. Let's talk grammar, right? Charms, right? So they got us speaking death. They had us at hello. For real, for real. They had us at AIOU, right? Spells, spelling. So there's a lot of ways to mortar. Who created this English stuff? Back to the more, back to the Moab, back to everything we just read in Isaiah 25. And this ain't no, knock on everybody that claims whatever, beliefs or affiliations or whoever they think they are or know who they are. Tribal. It's a tribal war is all we saying. We're not squeaky clean. You know what I'm saying? We got blood on our hands. You know what I'm saying? They got blood on their hands. We got each other's blood on our hands, right? And when will this cycle ever stop? Because this game banging stuff and, all this set tripping, all this stuff, all this is like it's a microcosm of a macro. You know what I'm saying? The macro is big politics popping off, right? The political scene, the red and blue, Democrat, Republic, so-called, but they are all one thing. We know this because they have to go back to the crown, right? They have a crown, right? But who's wearing that crown, my nigga? More probably someone that looks like you. They're playing out the game. They're playing out the puppet show. Now they got us in the macro. And in the macro, hey, same thing, red and blue. Yada yada. It's black on black just like it's black on black. And the macro is black on black. And the micro is black on black. And the micro, we in the hood thinking that we own these blocks and we hustling for this and we just need some more monies, some more moneta so that we can get by. We're serving the dollar bill because the dollar bill feeds our family. Who thought of this system, man? Who thought of this fiat, man? Murder. Yeah, we're just talking murder by premeditation of a person with a sound mind. To constitute murder in law, the person killing another must be of sound mind or in possession of his reason. What's the reason? And the act must be done with malice prepense, a forethought. So they're thinking about it well before, my nigga, meditating on it, right? With due meditation like the Papal Bull 1452. Tell me it's play, man. Tell me it's play, man. Due meditation, premeditation, a forethought, or premeditated, but malice may be implied as well as expressed. An outcry is murder when life is in danger. An outcry. Murder is an outcry when life is in danger. Meditate on that. To kill a human being with premeditated no malice, to destroy is murder. To put an end to. Can thou murder your breath in the middle of a word? Oh, we just talking words again. Mortar, right? Moors. Yeah, we're going to get on covenants. It all plays, you know what I'm saying? Because, when you got something someone wants and they'll do anything to get it, or it could be something very minuscule to you, but to them it's something else. You know what I mean? You got that, and then you just got like thoughtless killing. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh well, I'm just gonna be on the spree because such and such did such and such, so we gotta do such and such. You know what I'm saying? And now you just like whatever. It's just all the way up, right? But you don't. It's not personal. I mean, there's a personal element, but whoever you are murdering, it's not a personal thing. It's just the fact that you affiliated and this is what's happening. So, it's so impersonal and personal at the same damn time. It really is a sick, psycho twisted situation that they gotta say. You know what I mean? Because people are really getting killed and murdered and it's really personally affecting. But as a whole, it's not very personal. It's just a system. And yes, that killing is real, but it's a part of a whole system in play that anybody would be in that position that's in your position. You're just part of the system because you are born and in that particular place at that particular time. But it's been premeditated that you would go into that, man. And who put this together? Somebody at the top, right? Got the police force, jiving with the high level criminals on certain levels, right? They got people working together in the streets and behind this, because of course you got the Mason flow, right? It's a Masonic situation and all this, right? Yeah, man. Yeah. It's mortar, right? You got the higher ups and the gang banging. They're also, a lot of times these Masons, and then you got these Masons in the police force, and then you got these people doing this and this and that. And it's a lot going on, right? You can't keep up on the lower level, being the tail and not the head. Even though they're still the tail and not the head, you're really the tail. you're way tail. You're way down there in the totem pole. You don't know what's going on. You think this shit is real because it is real, because the killing is real, but the situations are premeditated. So yeah, I'm not just making an outcry when life is in danger. I'm saying, my naga, they thought about this. I just need you to take this moment and, take this moment of silence, for real, for all the real ones, all the homies, all the friends, you know what I'm saying, all the people that have been, lost into this system. So maybe you could not, maybe you could take a step back and not feel the personal emotion that you feel for a second, and just look at it as a system, and just look at it very impersonal. Look at it very impersonal and say, damn, what is this leading to? Like, what's the end game? Since someone thought about this, where does it end? If you got an enemy, you got an adversary, you're going to have to be able to switch out of your mind and get in their head and see what they thinking and what they move might be. It's nothing personal, right? It's just, you know, good business, right? It's being well thought out. It's having a forethought. They just want something from you, man. When you get very impersonal, you separate yourself from the emotion for a second, and you say, damn, we all took L's. We could all walk away from this and say we all are united in the fact that we've taken L's, not from each other on the impersonal level. Yeah, on the personal level, we've been killing each other. On the impersonal level, they've been killing us because they got us in the cold crux, man. They got us in a cold system. And the killing that we've been doing with each other is a product of this system. And even then, we get back to the root and say, tribes been having tribal war since the beginning, back to the Cain and Abel scenario, right? So, it's tribal war. Israel and Moab been popping off. Edom, everybody popping off, right? So this hood shit, this killing black on black shit is old biblical tribal stuff, man. But you gotta ask, what tribe are we talking about? Because then you might be able to get a glance at who's behind the mortar. On an impersonal level, they just want what you got, Israel. I'm talking to Israel, right? I'm talking to the tribes. We're talking about uniting our tribes, not in the gang affiliation or, whatever affiliations, man, whatever. But under HaWah. And to do that, we must be impersonal about this mortar, step back, look at it as a system, and say, damn, we've been all victimizing this shit. We never had a damn chance. Who would have thought we start KTCing and keeping it cold? The enemy never could have saw that coming, except they did. Hey, they over there making adjustments right now because they don't know what's next. Because we don't know what's next, but we do know what's next. We popping off, you know what I'm saying? It's all happening. We don't know, but we do know. It's all happening. Mortar is a system of premeditation and malice. And the mortar that we've continued with is only really, at this point, it's not even tribal, like we know who's Israel, who's Moab. It's not even like that. Now, I mean, you do have your countries that got their tribal wars still popping off, The big Rwanda situation, you know what I'm saying, comes to mind. But now it's just click shit. You know what I mean? It's just clicks. So why are we doing this? It's not even tribal war, it's just the system, right? It's the product of the environment of having nothing. And the crab in the barrel, trying to get out, and anyone flexing, is a target, and everyone watching everybody's social media making it that much more dangerous because people running off at the mouth on all kinds of stuff, and it's just reckless right now. It's just chaos. It's really all happening. It's the worst it's ever been, man. But it's also the best it's ever been because it's all happening. I was talking to one of my homies, man. He was like, it seems like it's the worst it's ever been based on social media, but for real, it's not even like that. You know what I'm saying? So, he was giving me a different take. Yeah, these wars and things are happening, but it's really like on YouTube and it's being promoted. And yeah, it might be these clicks and that click, but you know what I'm saying? They're trying to make us feel like that. And that's even deeper. Like, it's so psychological. So psychological. It's so much, mind fucking, it's straight up mind fuck. Let's just call it what it is. Mind twisted mind fuckery, man. My naga, they in our heads, man. I know you a killer. I know you a real one. I know you a stand-up guy, but you're going to have to be that on the front line for Israel. You're going to have to be that on the front line for Hasharah. You know what I'm saying? For the tribe. You're going to have to be that for your tribe together. And it don't change the macro that the op on the other side still look like you, but now you see like it's tribal. It's still tribal is what we're trying to say. Not in your mind in the macro, because you just begging for hoods and sets and whatever it is, clicks, right? But you know what I'm saying? Or you banging, man, because of the pain, you know what I'm saying? Of all the tragedy. I've lost friends. You've lost friends. I've lost family. You've lost family. Tragic. We can't bring them back like, in this reality, you know what I mean? But, you know, all praise HaWah. These are the saints, man, you know what I'm saying, that is ready to pop off this final war, man. Because more and more might be one final war, and whatever side you're on, you better be on the creative side or else, you know what I'm saying? We're not even saying to join us, just join HaWah and keep the code, We ain't got to affiliate, we ain't got to do none of that, but you keep the code, man. That's going to give you the best, whatever. Even if you feel like you got so much dirt on your hands and you've done so much mortar, right? That HaWah is going to take vengeance. And that's a big thing, too, we'll talk about. But, Managa, your best opportunity is not to continue the cycle. You know what I'm saying? HaWah can see that you've broken the cycle. HaWah can see that, you know what I'm saying, even if vengeance must be had, blood for blood, however HaWah gets it, at least your frequency can continue, man. But if you keep on this loop, HaWah just said in Isaiah 25, I'm swallowing up all this death, man. If you just represent death, there is no place for you and no energetic field of the creator whatsoever. So whether it's this life or the next or, the continuation, man, you want to make sure you at least have a continuation, man. Like, damn, like, even if you feel like you done that much, that HaWah can't forgive you, and I always say it's all about the relationship. I can never say that because you fell short in any area. Just like myself, I've fallen short in many areas, man. And, you know what I'm saying? We just pray that, we have a relationship with HaWah, you know what I'm saying? And, it's always case by case, you know what I mean? You build a relationship by building up your frequency. You build your frequency up by building up your obedience to the code. Really keep your Shabbats. Really put no power for your power. Don't continue the cycle of murder. You know what I'm saying? no thieving and all that jacking and all that stuff, man. Like this is what the hood is about. This makes a tough guy, a tough guy, a tough guy. You know, selling drugs to each other, which leads to a lot of murder of the mind, murder of the spirit. These drugs are eating away at our spirit. I know you're trying to come up. I know you got to keep the lights on, Managa, but you are murdering your community, man. You are murdering your people. HaWah's looking at this, man. You think it's over and it ain't. It's only beginning. And you're going to want to be on the right side of this. And this Code Keeper series is our call. It's my call. It's my outcry. You know what I mean? It's my outcry when life is in danger. You ain't got to listen because I ain't nobody to you, right? You know what I'm saying? I ain't done no, stripes around you for you to respect anything I'm saying, man. But I'm crying out because I'm in America with you. You know what I'm saying? I am a Naga in America just crying out to you. I know it hurts. I know they're gonna say what they say. But if you you know, put that pipe down, you know what I'm saying, against each other, you might feel like, nah, I gotta keep doing it because the op gonna get the drop on me, and then they gonna slide for this. You know what I mean? It's like you could say that, but I believe HaWah got all power. You know what I mean? I don't believe an op gonna be able to catch up to you. If you truly keep the code. I believe Mama, which is wisdom's gonna let you know exactly what to do, exactly where to be, exactly where to go, exactly how to move. You trust, you know, this cycle you in, or you trust the creator, because the creator's here, man. It's our time. It's the fifth way. Everything matters, man. And so much is vanity. I fall back. I fall back off YouTube. I fall back off all this stuff, whenever I can. And, I know I got a place to push the line here as well. So, but I try to fall back with my fam and just kick back and, reunite with, my foundational pieces, man, because I know it's our time, man. I don't want to murder my relationships. Let's talk relationships for a minute. You could murder your relationships and it could be, true babies in the bathwater there that you really got to connect with. You know, um, unless someone is murdering you, murdering your frequency, what I'm saying, murdering your flow, or literally, what I'm saying, trying to, push that line, just reach back and connect to your friends, what I'm saying, reach back and connect to people that you might have, lost connection to throughout this journey. Once in a while, just step back and try to reconnect and see what's out there. And, there's there's so much water flowing, what I'm saying? Don't murder your relationships based on old shit, man. All right, don't hold grudges based on all this old stuff. Now, if someone's really coming correct, now if they still coming with that same jive, then yeah, you're gonna have to separate. We get that. If they still are in that same loop of destruction and they still, are, what I mean, then there's only so much you could do. But if they trying and they different, people change, what I'm saying, for the good and bad. But people do change for good, man. You know what I mean? I've witnessed this very recently, man, and I'm like, wow, you know, hey, Halal HaWah is all we can say. So, and we're just talking the mortar, and my Nagas, starting to choose up, and man, it's like, I know as I say this, it seems impossible to get the the little homies I want to listen, but I do it anyway because somebody gonna listen. And if one Naga, listens and puts his pipe down and says, I'm not gonna keep this cycle going, and I'm gonna choose up, I'm gonna keep this goal because I know it's gonna protect me, I know it's gonna fortify me. I'm gonna believe in HaWah and trust. that he is my rock and my refuge. You believe in HaWah and trust he's your rock, your refuge. Watch how HaWah repays you with secure breath, Manak. Because the opposite of murder is a breath of security, man. HaWah! Breath of security. Wow, every single breath is Baruch. This is what we fight for. This is what we keep coming back for. This is why we keep, choosing up for, man. Protect yourself at all costs. There's a difference between killing and murder. You know what I'm saying? Drop Nation got real ones over here, but to the best of our ability, we want to avoid being murderers. You know what I'm saying? Drop Nation ain't on no play over here. You know what I'm saying? We're very protective. You know what I mean? At the same time, it doesn't mean we have to be murderers, right? We don't have to murder each other in any type of way. And my niggas all across the plane, my niggas all across the plane, we don't have to be murderers no more. I know you a killer. I know you protect your family. I know you protect yourself and each other. You can do that on the front line for the Creator, man. You can do that on your own land, my nigga. You can put them racks on racks, buy some land, and you can do that like that. And you can really build somewhere that you could protect for real. You know what I mean? And, these cities are already plugged into the system, man. And, at the same time, you can still be here on the front line in the cities because HaWah is with us right here. We don't got to go nowhere. At the end of the day, to be protected, we're going to be popping off everywhere, like the Bro 9 Spiral always say. Because it's all happening, it's good to have, a play running in all these directions, you know what I'm saying? But HaWah's right here on the front lines, and you can be a frontline knocker for the Creator in code, you know what I'm saying? DC, what it do, man, Dragon Child. He said, man, shit, Nagas need to bang this code, though. Nagas need to stand up for this. Stand up for our Shabbat. Stand up for no power, MHOE. No power before our power, MHOE. Put our power first, we never lose. We got to bang that. We got to stand up for that. Someone try to make you murder your brother over a color, over a set, over a click, or some past shit, some old shit, some hurtful old shit, whatever, man. You bang for the fact that, my brother lives, man. I'm not going to bang on my brother like that. Those things happened because we was in the system. It was impersonal. As personal as it was impersonal. It wasn't truly trying to hurt me. He thought he was doing what he had to do. Just like I thought I was doing what I had to do until I realized I got a choice. There's a choice we're making. You have a choice. You have a choice. All my family. We got choices. We have a choice. You don't think you're going to make a difference, I know. You think it's going to continue because the system is so strong, but is it stronger than HaWah? It's the system that was created on you. Stronger than HaWah, stronger than your Creator. Is it stronger than the Creator? Look around you. This has been created. This earth's been created. Is it stronger than the Creator? The system that was put because we were out of code. That's why we got rolled up on. That's why they murdered us. Because we was already murdering each other over tribal shit. You know how HaWah feels about the murder of your brother, man. You know how that Cain and Abel story goes, man. Right? So once that's popping and that's normal, and then you want to come back and do sacrifices and sacrifice lamb and sheep and all this to take away your sins, vanity, my naga. HaWah was not satisfied with those those odors. That scent was not one that pleased the Creator. That sacrificial, scent was not pleasing to HaWah. HaWah said, I don't want your sacrifices. You're just gonna keep murdering each other. You're going to keep jacking each other. You're going to jack each other's land. Ain't you Moab? But Moab shall be trodden down in his place, even as straw is trodden down in the dunghill. Why is Moab trodden down just as straw is trodden down in the dunghill? You know, dung means shit, right? You know, in like a pile of shit, you know what I mean? What's your offense, Moab? What's your place in the mortar of the more on more war? We're just talking mortar, more. More means great. So if you're fighting to be great, but you're not fighting to keep the code, how great are you, my Naga Moab? Now we got great Moabites, you know. Shout out to Aqua Ruth. You know, we got amazing Moabites. So, you know, this ain't no general situation. I'm talking about the out of code Nagas in Moab, just like I'm talking about the out of code Nagas in Israel. Can we all get along? Do you see clearly now? Can you make a choice? Can you choose up within your organization? Can you see the infiltration? Can you see the treaties on the headbone of Tecumseh? That caused the mortar, Managa, of Tecumseh and Dracan Canoe and the Chickamauga, those who signed no treaties. We the people, Hasharah, can you see clearly what the mortar has done? Because somebody with a sound mind meditated on your destruction and they destroyed and put an end to what? Psalms 83. Then we're going to get a few scripts for the dismount. I didn't want to get too scripty because I just wanted to talk to my Nagas. You know what I mean? Mortar is something that you should be able to really talk about straight up because, you know, it don't take a lot. You know, the other ones like, you know, even vanity, you know, we went more into meanings of what it is. And even with mortar, we can see all these different applications. But, I mean, you know, it's like, it's pretty straightforward, you know, but it's so deep at the same time because it's hitting on all these different levels. You see, someone put an end to you. Someone put an end to us. HaWah, keep not your silence, hold not your peace, and be not still. So someone's calling on the Creator to slide on the opposition because there's enemies, right? There's enemies that want to put an end to destroy, to put an end to. I'm just talking mortar. But we're also talking Moab. You know, we're also talking the whole Confederacy. Not in a slightful way, but in a way of the outer coldness. We all gotta, you know, lick our wounds and see clearly and say, we know we can get along, right? We know we can rally under the one true power, but you gotta put down these other powers. You gotta stop throwing stones to Mercules, Saturn. You dig? You gotta get out that Zeus. You gotta leave it alone. But we also gotta leave it alone, you see? So I'm talking to me, I'm talking to us. But you know, Moab and Israel have always been so close. So it is a family war, and I can speak on it, right? Khan can speak on it, Khan. Just like you can speak on it. But you've been speaking on it, but you ain't been speaking on this. That we got enemies that are in an uproar, and they hate. They that hate you have lifted up the head. So someone hates you, man. Little homie in the back of the class, please move up to the front of the class. Take off your headphones, because you ready to teach this lesson, right? You know all about hate. You know all about them hating on you. You know all about the hate you have for them. And this is why the cycle continues. But before you started hating on your bro that live over there on, you know, down the block on 57th, and them over there in the hundreds, over there, and them over there in the jungles, and them over there in the bottoms, and the treetops is over there, and what I'm saying, South Side's over here, and it's before all that hate, someone else hated you. Before the op you think is the op, right? I ain't talking white man op. I'm talking nigga ops, right? Don't make me pull up this Charles V again, man. Just stop. We and just because we talking nigga ops, if you a white whatever and you think you white and you think it's something else, don't glorify yourself over that and say, see, you niggas been at war. Yeah, these niggas also been supreme. There's order to this. We covering all bases here. So this ain't you. You're not a part of this conversation. You can't speak on the Preston. You don't got the frequency to talk Preston. You don't have the frequency of HaWah. You're not a part of these treasured ones. Because you're not a code keeper. We would like you to be a code keeper, but that requires order. But for us, we have to realize it's a more on mortar war because somebody hates someone else. They that hate you have lifted up their head. Why? Because they want to be the head. Gotta do this, man. Gotta do it. Why not? It's just so fitting, you know what I'm saying? It's just so fitting, man. Shout out to Real History, WW, and shout out to my sister Tracy Latt. She sent me, man, an amazing, this the realest, it's like an Ether 1000 flash drive. She went through all the drop, PDFs, everything. So, whoa, we're going to actually put this on the Press the Pack 2, and I'll also put it on the next Ether Pack 3. But if you want to get it ASAPery, no capery, this is the very best of the best resources. You know what I'm saying? All compiled. The sister took her time, labeled all these things, and made so many categories. And it's his own situation to itself, but I know she will want you to have it, so we'll make sure we include it in the Press the Pack 2. And you're getting the recon and you're getting the PDF, so no one's snatching it down. I'm sure she hit this up already. She's going through sites like this, PDFing them and making sure that even if they take them off the internet, we still got them in the Ether pack. So if you haven't pre-ordered your Press the Pack 2 yet, it hasn't even hit the website, so you can still do it through the Cash App. It's $35 total, $30 plus $5 shipping. Cash App is 432 to drop radio and get your Press the Pack 2 flash drive. And, it's all compiled, and we're going to include the drop. Dribbity drop, the drop of 2022 from Aqua Tracy Latt. We appreciate you. AI team Aqua. She's helping us in this fight. You know, of this more and more, you know what I mean? And you see here the Inca list, and love the Tupac-Ateca. You know what I mean? The Incas, you see these copper color cons like we've been talking about. Then you see another copper color naga right here with this, JC cross, you know what I'm saying? And he's crossing out these Incas. So these Kawam Brown, brown skin, Negroes, right, are now being cut off by this Charles the Fifth, or Charles Kento, right? Bigger picture of it here. They're all the same complexion. This has been going on, my nugget. This is my point. But you have to see it, I guess. We all have to see it. There goes Tupac Attack right there, man. On down the Eco line. Here's Charlesy. Another picture of Charlesy. Oh, see how they tried to iconoclast and change up? Oh, you think they went from light to dark or dark to light? So all these Philippes and Carloses, and these are all Negroes too, with wigs on. You know what I'm saying? These are niggas. These are all niggas. You know, let's just talk. Let's talk like us. You know, these are all niggas. Yeah, and here comes Charles. You know, and he's the European emperor of the Incas. So he's the European. This Naga right here is called the European because he's also called Holy Roman Emperor Charles V. And they have lifted up their heads to conquer Israel right here in America. 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue, my nigga. So right at the same time, the Roman Emperor looks like you. And they're looking for you right here. Because what? Because why? Because what? Because why? Because they that hate you, those enemies are in an uproar. They that hate you have lifted up their head. There ain't no clearer depiction than this right here of a nigga, of a black man that hates other Nagas and lifts up his stank ass head to come sniff us out over here in America, looking for cities of gold, but to really take Jerusalem, to take longitude and latitude, to lead the more on more war, and to cause so much mortar. Yeah, this is bigger than us, man. You thought I was gonna be just yelling at gangs, and nah, man. I mean, all my homies, you know, people I grew up with, my cousins, and all. You know, I'm from LA, my nigga. Like I'm not. I'm from here. You know what I'm saying? You know, so yeah, you know, I can never just yell aimlessly at anyone. You know, I'm in the crux of it all. You know, I'm right here. I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just like I gotta yell at my people though. I gotta let them know it's not even personal. It's not even personal. They just hate. Sometimes hate ain't even personal. Sometimes a hater is just a hater, my nigga. You ever come across a situation like that? A nigga just hating a hate. It ain't even personal. You just got something he want. It ain't you. It's what you got. What's making them lift up their head? That they've meditated with a sound mind on your destruction. They've meditated with a sound mind to destroy, to put an end to who? They that have lifted up their head, they hold crafty converse against your people. Ping, pow. So the creator got a people. It's not racist. It is what it is. I have children. I prefer my children over other children because they're my children. I'm their dad, right? It makes sense. I love other people's children too. I love, hey, I love all children. But my children are my people, right? They're my children. They're my responsibility, morning, noon, and night. They're my people. This is the relationship, father, son, mother, daughter, frame and shape of God with the children of Israel, of Hasherah. It's not like you hate other children, but these are your children, right? So don't even, you know what I mean? It's just how it goes when HaWah creates the natural one. Shout out to the bro that this is the frequency that you share. It's love, it's Ahab. You're not an enemy. But just because you're one of the natural ones created by HaWah doesn't mean, you know what I'm saying, you just gonna be all good because, you know, I mean, this Moab, right? These are natural ones too. I just need you to understand this, man. This is what's meant by the great on great or the more and more war. I mean, Moab, you are great, right? You are natural. You're of the bloodline of Abraham, Khan. You're the bloodline of Shem, Khan. You are great. And knowing that you're great, someone's convinced you that you deserve it all, right? So you lift up your head to others that are naturally born, birthright, inheritance, up with the frequency of HaWah, and you say, they think they greater than us. We're great too. They think they get this and we get that. They get this lot and we get that lot. Just because we the sons and daughters of Lot. But we great too. We're the seed of Abraham. We lift up our head on you. We make ourselves the Rimmon. Rimmon is just referring to the pomegranate connected with the promised land, which is what he's lifting up his head. Holy Roman Emperor Charles V, hijacking the Inca right in their face, bone. Yeah, man. This guy, man. With the red shoes, man. Holy Roman Emperor, man. Or it could be Balthazar, the Moorish king, 1525. Uh-oh. Will the real Charles please stand up? Lifts up his head with hate. It's not personal that we got put in this system. But once they saw an opening, they had to take their shot, right? They had to shoot their shot. They said, y'all got all the goods. It's not even personal. Hey, my niggas, it wasn't even personal. This is what he's telling the Inca right here. Hey, man, he got his hand up. Hey, it's not even personal. But y'all got all this good flowing milk and honey over here in America. And well, I am the first European emperor of the Inca. I am a European. Man. Your enemies are in an uproar. HaWah, they hate you. They that hate us have lifted they stank ass heads, man. And they said, what? Come and let us cut them off from being a nation. We're just talking more war. We're talking about premeditated, right? They hold crafty converse. I can't make this stuff up. I mean, we're talking premeditated malice, man. They hold crafty converse to destroy, to put an end to. What? They hold crafty converse against your people, take counsel against your treasured ones. HaWah has treasured ones. That's not racism. He has treasured ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. What nation are you? What's your nationality is what they play as now, right? Brother, what's your nationality? See, black's not a nationality. You know, oh man. Now we need a nationality. That's funny because we had a nation, but you cut us off from being a nation. Huh? I said, huh? Can't make this stuff up. We had a nation, but you cut us. I can't get no clear picture. than this right here of being cut off from being a nation. Because now you got the subsequent first European emperor of the Inca, means that there's a new power in town, right? They've been cut off. Tupac been cut off, right? From being a nation. Let us cut them. So there's an us and there's a them. There's enemies and there's treasured ones. You see the dichotomy, right? That the name of Hasharal of Israel be no more remembered, right? You can't remember who you are. You have no nation, no nationality. You think you're from Africa. Then who's these copper color knockers? They're not related to you. You see someone getting cut off. You see how they try to paint their faces white when they all are black. Black people cutting off black people, right? But you think it's just personal, and it's not. It's just hate, man. If there is a dichotomy going on, right? If there's an us and there's a them, and there's treasured ones and there's enemies, there's also love and there's also hate. And you're people of Ahab, you're people of a covenant. You got natural Ahab. Even when you're off track, even when you were out of code, you still function with Ahab, man, in many ways that the hijack would never understand. You're still popping off. So, but in their heart bone, they don't have nothing but hate. They don't got no Ahab. You think he got Ahab, true Ahab in his heart bone? He looks soulless, man. He looks like he's wandering. Look like he's searching for something. He want to be happy. He want to truly be a treasured one. And all the cities of gold he conquers, all the stuff Estebanico brings to him, Stephen their Christ. It won't bring happiness, will it, Charlesy boy? Because only the treasured ones can truly have that Ahab. Not the enemies that's mortaring their brother, mortaring their sisters with premeditated malice because they've taken crafty counsel. They take counsel against your treasured ones. They say, come, let us cut them off from being a nation. Yeah, man. So that the name, your nation, is no more in remembrance. They have consulted together, right? Premeditated with one consent, because they're the Khan now, right? Batu Khan. You know, these are descendants of this Genghis Khan situation, man, because Genghis Khan also looks just like you. Mortar. Oh yeah, we're talking covetous to the bone. And they're united while we are separated in a system, blooding and cripping it up, GDBDing it up, clicking and clatting with our clicks. Because we're hurt, because we're taking L's or we're keeping score, and we're sliding. And my nigga, but come on, man. We don't have one consent. They're talking free Larry Hoover because at least he was able to unite so much, you know, who they call King David, right? Was able to unite so much, but they had to get rid of the bosses because y'all had too much consent over there in Chi-Town, man. And the Chi is the key. Chi-Town, CHI, is key. It's like the chi, right? The energy, man. They're letting you know they can't have this energy being in one consent, this key. No, we have to divide all this up so you can't consult together. It's okay if they consult together, you know? It's okay if they consult together, but you can't consult together. Like I'm saying, it's still black on black because it's still more and more. And we're just talking mortar, like you never heard it spoken before. Like I've never heard it spoken before. Even when I was about to drop this, I said, what do I say that they ain't heard about murder? I mean, it's so common, right? But I just didn't see the more in mortar, man. So hey, now I'm popping off because I'm witnessing this with you. Because at the heart of it all, this is the issue, It don't start with their hate, my nigga. It starts with your ahab for HaWah. But when we turn into harlotry and turn into other powers, that's hate that we created. We created the hate that they have for us, man. We created it. It might have never existed if we never hated our creator. This just might be a reflection of the pain and the hate that we have when we're out of code. He just might be reflecting the hate. That's why I said it's not personal. He don't even know why he got so much hate, why he can't be satisfied being the Roman emperor, because he's still poor. He's still dog poor compared to these Inca. They dripping, right? Look, they dripping. He's only dripping because they dripping. He got his drip from them. All this drip sauce is indigenous probably. He just turned it into his shit. He took the drip. He stole the drip. But he ain't from the drip. He'll never have the drip. He'll always be longing with longing eyes for the drip. The hate. So they hold crafted counsel against your people. They take counsel against your treasured ones. They say, come, let us cut them off, forbid a nation that the name of Israel be no more in remembrance, for they have consulted together with one consent. Against you do they make a covenant. Who? The tents of Edom, of course. Ishmaelites, of course. Moab, of course. Hagrites, Gebal, Ammon, Amalek, Philistia with the inhabitants of Tyre. Assyria is also joined with them. They have been an arm to the children of Lot. Bang! And the children of Lot are Moab and Ammon. Isaiah 25 said what? Verse 8. Let's get 8 through 10. And then we're gonna continue with some great scripts, and I'm gonna flow with it. And I just appreciate my niggas for keeping the code, for not thinking you too small to do it, because all it takes is a few. All it takes is a few of us, and I think that's the main piece I want to leave you with, my naga. If you feel like you'll be an oddball for not killing a naga, what I'm saying, or mortaring a naga, that you'll be an oddball or looked at as soft or weak or any type of shit talking. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be willing to go through that fire, because you don't want to go through this fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want HaWah's gonna swallow up death forever, man. You don't want to be a part of that swallow up. We all, you know, compare this with these RICO cases and indictments. We don't want to be swallowed up in that either, because let's talk about that. We got my nagas behind the wall, and that's still death. Being cut off from your family, from love, from the Ahab is a death. It's a slow death. It's a painful thing, whether you're there for 6 days, 6 months, 6 years, like 16 years, my naga, it's death, right? So you don't want to be swallowed up in death forever, man. My naga. Even in this reality, that's the case. Jail or death for real. Or you can choose up, get out that loop, and not be swallowed up in this RICO. See, HaWah's RICO is forever, man. Their RICO, they can have you for as long as they got you and all that, but This Rico is forever. This indictment is forever. This judgment, you don't want to be swallowed up in that, man. So just listen to Naga, listen to me. I'm telling you, man, go through that fire. Believe in yourself. HaWah will test you. You stay strong. You know what I mean? Listen to Amma. Listen to that wisdom flow. Get your security. Have your secure breath. Why? Know that you're protected in code and frequency, and this at least builds a relationship. You might go to the club, whatever club you're going to, whatever event you're going to, and it might be a dress code, but if you know the owner of the club or the event holder, promoter, you can get in with shorts and flip-flops. But if you don't know them, you're gonna have to be dressed to the T's, right? It's all about relationships. It doesn't mean that dress code was not put there for a reason, or else everybody would be showing up in shorts and flip-flops. But just because you a murderer, doesn't mean that you just, are gonna have this, you know, uh, death forever, my naga. You can build a relationship with the club owner, right? You can build a relationship with the main promoter, my naga. You can get in still and pop off. You just got to build a relationship. It's not too late, my naga. At least try so that it's not forever, because you don't want to be swallowed up in HaWah's death forever. You can make a choice. Not on no religious tip, but on some code, banging the code, banging for the creator. No killing, no stealing. That the simple thing to build a community, because now we're fighting back, man. Because it is a frequency war. He will swallow up death forever. That 440 hertz getting swallowed up. HaWah will wipe away tears from all their faces. It's all good. The reproach of his people will he take away from off all the earth, man. Forever. For HaWah has spoken it, and it shall be in that day. Lo, they shall, and it shall be said in that day, Shalah, this is our power. You're going to say, hey, HaWah is our power, because we can live without that reproach, without anyone hating us, making crafty counsel, without them longing for our latitude and longitude and our things and our stuff and our happiness, without them longing for us, without them cutting us off from being a nation. This is our power, who we waited for, man. Are you waiting for the creator? You waiting for Zeus? You waiting for the creator? You waiting for Muhammad or Allah? All these are generic words. It's not the name. God, Allah, these are generic terms. Above, mighty. But we're talking about the breath and security, framer, shaper. He will save us. This is our power, who we waited for. We will be glad and rejoice in his salvation. For in the mountain will the hand of HaWah rest, in this mountain, and Moab shall be trodden down in his place, even as straws trodden down in the dunghill. Why? Because they've cut us off from being a nation. Now you want to go down for the sins of your fathers, my Moorish brothers, my Moorish sisters? Or do you want to choose up? Better than Charlesy boy? You want to fight for these old titles? Or you want to have a new title? Only the few, right, can really drop all that supremeness and say, hey, I'd rather be a servant in the kingdom of HaWah than all that supreme BS that I'm thinking in egos. And I'd rather be a servant. I'd rather you consider me a Gentile than for me to go down the path of death, to go down the path of being a mortar any longer. Because yes, as we said, you can mortar, just by keeping this going, this frequency going, and keeping the children asleep is mortaring them. You're murdering them by keeping them asleep, trying to bring them into a black hole. Islam, brother. Islam, brother. Nah, man. Bring them to HaWah. Bring them to the Creator. Bring them to the code. To put no power before their power. Bring them to that. Give them life. Don't bring them to a nationality, because only with a nationality can we, only with HaWah, because HaWah will save us. This ain't spook talk, Managa. You know you got a Creator. Moab, you know you got a Creator. All these other false gods are emulating, are shades of a power that you choose to, use as a battery on your back. But it's not an everlasting power. That power comes with consequences and repercussions. Them sacrifices come with consequences and repercussions. How does HaWah feel about this sacrifice? How does HaWah feel about the sacrifice that we do to each other in our neighborhoods and on this block and that block? But remember, man, it ain't personal. How does HaWah feel about this sacrifice when they made Israel no more? We've been sacrificed. We were sacrificed. Who's our salvation? Who have we been waiting for that he might save us? This is HaWah, who we waited. For whom we waited, we will be glad and rejoice in his salvation. Let's go. Isaiah 57. Let's get there, man. I'm popping off with you, my naga, because this is important. I know we're going to reach, the real ones. You know what I mean? It's not a sucker to, make a choice. You know what I'm saying? It's not that ain't no sucker shit that you chose not to slay another naga no more. You know what I'm saying? This is all a part of what we, what happens when we choose up. You know what I'm saying? It's we only suckers if we continue to follow destruction, to be followers, and to be afraid of, the backlash or the slander of our own brothers or families because we don't follow a certain lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? But it's like when we show them what we can be, when we buy land together and we put our family on the land and we say, look, hey, now we can really see clearly who the opposition is. Anybody rolling up on our land, trying to steal our land, that's the op. But living 2 blocks down don't make you an op. No more, man. Not in our world, not in our reality, not in Nagaville. You live where you live. You in Los Angeles, no matter where you at in Los Angeles, it's Nagaville. It's the tribe's territory. You in California, you in DC, you in Virginia, you in Texas, Managa, you in South Dakota, you are an American, you're an Amaru Khan. I see you as an Amaru Khan. I see you as these Nagas that got hijacked. Now, can we keep the code on our land? No matter if you Israel or Moab, can we keep our code? Can Edom keep the code? Can Amalek keep the code? Can the Hagrites keep the code? Or nobody know who they are no more? Or are they just keeping us out in the cold? Let's go. Isaiah 57. Halal HaWah. Hey, for HaWah, for HaWah, for Nagaville, for Joy World, for everything we building comes from one source. The righteous perish, and no man lays it to heart, and godly men are taken away. None considering that the righteous is taken away from the evil to come. He enters into peace, they rest in their beds. See, being a natural one, you have a bed, you have a resting place. Being a hijack, you have no rest. Managa, choose up and don't get swallowed up by death. Because they're marketing death in the music industry and the TV and the images. Everything's marketing death. Don't get swept up in death. HaWah's going to swallow it up forever. You know, and this goes out to them camps that think because a righteous Naga, passes or transcends into that next ether flow, that they must be evil because you died, so-called, right? In the wisdom of Solomon, it says only to the fool do they seem to die. These Nagas got beds. These Nagas got resting places. Shalom. Only to the fool do they seem to die. So we don't die. We multiply. We rest. It's only an illusion, but there is a death. There is a death that's coming, that's being swallowed up. In Isaiah 25, he enters into peace. They rest in their beds, each one that walks in his uprightness. So the righteous perish. Like the Kum say, who you hated, the hijack hated, the Kum say. Dragon Canoe, hijack hated Dragon Canoe. Hawata, hijack hated Hawata. Hawata. The hijack hates you. And maybe we've perished, but it doesn't mean that we're dead, It means we're resting. And as long as you keep the code, you'll always have a resting place, always have a bed, always have shalom, always have peace. Sometimes we're taken away from the evil to come. All this tenderoni, all this hijack. Sometimes HaWah's sparing us and saying, look, you done enough, man. Just fall back, rest. Even Moshe had to rest, even though his body was left unabated. Moshe is left unabated. His life force is never dimmed, it says. I'm just in my Deuteronomy flow. So we're talking murder, but just because it seems like we're perishing, don't just think it's all to do with evil. Sometimes HaWah is, sparing the righteous from the evil to come. Let's keep it going. Exodus 21. Surfing the wave, my night. This is HaWah's wave, We say we're in the fifth wave because the fourth wave was like a year and a half. The fifth wave might only be 6 months. We don't know. It's all a vibration, you know what I mean? And, to pop off like we are doing now, we're at rest and we're popping off at the same time. I'm falling back, but popping off with, the most amazing connectivity and, ideas and creation, I'm saying, that I've ever had, I'm saying? And it's a rejuvenating time. It's a rejuvenating energy. I'm pacing it because, when we strike, my naga, we hitting right through the target. You know what I'm saying? We're not coming up short on these punches right now. We punching through the target. You know what I'm saying? You know how to do it. So love to the big bro, Judah, the great Jedi, man. Let's get it. Exodus 21. We're just talking about mortar. Let's go right to verse 12 and dig on it. He that smites a man so that he dies shall surely be put to death. HaWah does take vengeance on these murders, you know what I'm saying? Especially if that's just where your heart's at. Again, it's up to you and your relationship with the Creator. It's case by case on if the Creator really knows your heart. A lot of people say, oh, God knows my heart, but HaWah don't know you. How could HaWah know you when you don't listen? You could be a child of anybody and not know your father. Just because you're a child of HaWah doesn't mean you know your father. You could have no relationship because you're just a badass kid and you don't listen to nobody. And that's how we've been. Like, we don't listen. So, we are the children of the Creator, but we don't listen. This is open the door for the hate. Open the door for the mortar. Verse 12, he that smites a man so that he dies shall surely be put to death. And if a man lie not in wait, but HaWah calls it to come to hand, like sometimes it's HaWah's vengeance. Sometimes, it's an accident, other things. There was, a way out of this. It says, then I will appoint you a place where he may flee. So there was a place appointed if you happen to kill someone, but it wasn't a premeditated murder. It says, if a man comes presumptuously upon his neighbor to slay him with guilt or hate, you shall take him from my altar that he may die. So if you premeditated this, if you took crafty counsel, it's not a lot, it's not a lot you can do. There's only one recompense for bloodshed. You over here lurking for ops, right? You over here lurking to score, my naga. That's the worst type of hate. That's the worst type of murder. And that's the loop we're breaking right now, this day. And you listening to this message, it's going to break the spell that they got on us because they premeditatedly put a spell on a naga. They've taken crafty counsel, right? They put a spell on a naga to get us killing like this. It's all in our music. We got to break it. We're in that 432 hertz. We're in that tribal music. We're in that Mob Pack 1, you know what I'm saying? We're all the way up. We're MHOE. We got the mem sauce. We got that water. No more spell over here, man. We getting the babies out the bath water, and that's it, man. We're rescuing Moshe out the bath water, Managa, and that's it. Because they put the spell in the word. More and more war. Premeditated. Presumptuously you came upon your neighbor, your brother, right? To slay him or to slay the dragon. Khan. Alchemical serpent. Khan. Cadmus. Khan. I'm just talking about the creation of opposites, and they had to create the opposites. They had to put the opposite on us, the 440 on us. They had to put the opposite on us. That's why they got the black and white checkerboard. It's the opposites, duality. That's just androgyny speaking. That's just Thoth again. That's just Mercury, a wise trickster, but very premeditated. Let's go. Let's head over to 23, man. Chapter 23. Halal HaWah. Verse 7. Keep you far from a false matter. Let's bring it in. Let's bring in all the code. Because a false matter, and especially a false witness, gets people murdered. You witnessing falsely, calling somebody something, whether, you trying to put a title on them, you trying to put a jacket on them, you trying to put something on them, it's a lot of that going on. Sometimes people call people, snitches or informants in the hood, and they get whacked just like the mob because of a false matter, a false witness. Your words got somebody murdered, or you murdered their character, which is just as bad because you're taking away their identity, their ability to be themselves. You're murdering, their frequency that they've built. You know what I'm saying? Their name. You're trying to kill their name so their name is no longer in remembrance. That's how much they want to murder Israel. That's how much they're against us. They never even want us to remember our name. How great we are. Keep you far from a false matter. And the innocent and righteous slay thou not. See this goon right here? He wanted to slay the innocent. He wanted to slay the righteous. It wasn't personal. He was just hypnotized with hatred. Hey, out to the bro Boosie, right? For real, for real. This Roman Empire, Emperor, Charles E. Boy, He rode up on the click click. He rode up on the Inca to slay because he was hypnotized with hatred. I will not justify the wicked if this is how you coming. You're lurking to slay the righteous. You know what I'm saying? The issue with what's happening in the hood is that ain't nobody righteous because everybody's slaying each other. So, they think they're in a loophole in a sense. Well, I'm not slaying, I'm not hitting innocent children or that's part of the G code, all that kind of stuff. You don't just go spray it up in a park, do all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? But that's their way of getting around the murder, right? Because I'm not slaying the innocent. They ain't innocent over there. We ain't righteous over here. So is it murder if the murders slay each other? Wow. When it comes to that, you gotta take a breath. And like I said, let's take a moment for all our family members that have been murdered because of this system, because of these environments, and because of what it is. It's a trap, you know what I mean? And it's been premeditated. Halal HaWah. Let's take this moment of silence for the real ones. Wow. Halal HaWah. If you're part of this cycle where you don't know who's innocent and who's righteous, and you're just like, we're all, straight up sinners, right? We're all sinners, right? So fuck it. We're just gonna kill each other. Like, that's the very worst frequency of death. And you can be righteous again. I'm here to tell you, man, you can be righteous again. I don't know, what that's gonna take for a while, but if you fight on the other side of this war, if you start breaking this spell for a naga, if you stop sliding on someone just because you feel like, they're not righteous and they deserve it, and start looking at them and say, you know what, see him or her, for what they could be. They could be righteous, and in reality, they are innocent in the same system. They're a victim of the same system. They're babies in this. My young family out there doing what you're doing. You a baby. You're born into this. You know what I'm saying? I know you OG now, and I know you big time now. I'm just saying, like, as far as all this goes, you a baby in this, and you're putting in the most work, right? And each time it's taking a piece of yourself away. It's taking your innocence, your righteousness. You're not killing, you're murdering. We can't make excuses for this no more. And even if we the few, at least we made a stand. At least, it's better than being some 90, 95, 96-year-old sucker that never made a stand. You know what I'm saying? At least we made a stand for what's righteous and said we put our guns down against each other. We gave each other ahab instead of hate. No longer hypnotized with hatred. We're all innocent in the system. Not to the system, but because of the system, we've all fallen short. We're born into all this tragedy. HaWah knows that. HaWah's looking for us to make a choice. Yeah, you've been a murderer all your life, so what are you going to do for the rest of your life? Is it just a wrap? Is this it? Is this all you came for? Or did you kind of make a stand and HaWah put you in that difficult situation so that you could speak to those in those, in those trenches? You know what I'm saying? And this is your place, wherever you at. You in Chicago, you in LA, you in New York, You know what I mean? You in Detroit, Naga, you in Texas. You know, we got Nagas sliding everywhere. We got Nagas on demon time everywhere. What's the opposite of that? Dragon time, man. We got to be on dragon time. They trying to slay the dragon. They trying to slay the fire, the water, the ether, the earth. They coming for your territory. They creeping for you to cut you off from being a nation, man. They longing for you, hypnotized with hatred. They got us in the micro. They got us fighting each other on micro levels so that we can forget that we were fighting each other on a macro level. And in the micro, we born into it. We are innocent, and we got to stop slaying the innocent. Because a lot of us didn't choose this shit. We're born into this frequency war. Why said I would not justify the wicked, and thou shalt take no gift, for a gift blinded them that have sight and perverts the words of the righteous, and a stranger shalt thou not oppress, for you know the heart of a stranger, seeing you were strangers in a land of bondage. Egypt. We ain't worried about these strangers no more. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to be a stranger to HaWah no more. Forget about these guys. You know what I'm saying? We just have to realize what's happening, especially behind the scenes. But we don't have to be a stranger to each other no more. We don't have to kill each other no more. We don't got to murder no more. And we don't have to be a stranger to our creator no more. Because you're a stranger if you keep this going, man. And you don't want to be a stranger when HaWah starts swallowing up the death from the earth. Genesis chapter 9. Verse 6, pop off. Whoso sheds man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of HaWah he made he man. And you be fruitful, multiply, swarm the earth. This is the blessing, man. This is the blessing. It wasn't about banging your hood and your set. It was about being fruitful, multiplying, which means you're doing it together, swarming the earth, multiplying therein. HaWah spoke to Noah. As for me, behold, I establish my covenant with you. It's not racism. It's a covenant that's been established through a bloodline, Managa. And when we talk Shem, we're talking more and more, which means we are talking mortar. With this unlawful, premeditated malice goes all the way back to Cain and Abel, right? Hypnotized with hatred, according to the story. Whoever shed blood, blood will be shed. That's the frequency. That's the loop of murder. So this is what we're in. You shed blood, I'ma shed blood. We do it naturally now, right? It's nothing for us to do it to each other. HaWah's allowing it because that's the code. Blood be shed. Whoever sheds blood, by man shall his blood be shed. It looked like he's telling you exactly why this is happening. And it won't stop if you continue to do what? Shed man's blood. Because you say, I'm going to get my get back. Well, by man shall his blood be shed. And then you you'll get back. You slide for him. And you keep sliding. All right. By man shall his blood be shed. There's a reaction to all this. It's energy, frequency. This reaction to this, every action, right? So HaWah made us in his image to be fruitful. This is what you got to choose. You want to choose to shed man's blood so that your blood will be shed, or somebody close to you, or and the cycle continues, Or do you want to be fruitful, man, in your own land, my naga? Talking to my nagas, my niggas, and everything in between, all Negroes, just choose up and multiply. Swarm the earth. Choose that. Choose life. When you multiply, when you swarm the earth that was created as an habitat for you, when you stop shedding your naga's innocent blood, because they're in a trap just like you. They're on demon time because they're in a spell just like you. It's not personal. When we take the personal shit from it, the emotional, all you see is the cycle and the system. And you see where it all popped off from. And you see where it all popped off at. It's the reason why we over here popping off all this gang banging, mainly right here in America. You know what I'm saying? Mainly, they're following us because it's all happening here. Because it's all starting here, this tribal war. Cut off from being a nation. So you got to claim something else. You can't claim your nation. You've been cut off from being a nation. Deuteronomy 5. We're talking about the code. We're talking about code keepers. Let's hit it. Verse 17. Oh, we're just talking code, right? Hey, let's get it so that we can remember. So that we can remember, right? Have no other powers before me. Rule number 1. Bang. Read the rest so you can understand how HaWah feels about it. That's rule number 1. No power before me, man. Number 2, don't take your HaWah's name in vain, which is your own breath, which is your own security. Because what's security without your breath? What's your breath without security? How can you take that in vain? Observe the Shabbat as HaWah commanded it. 6 days you working, 7th day you resting. Managa, close your gates. Let's go. Number 4, honor your father and your mama. And as it says in the Los Lunas stone in New Mexico, Los Lunas, honor your father and your mother above. Frame or shape or gets honor with everything you do. Number 5, you shall not murder. Mortar. Number 6, no adultery. We got that as number 1 in the Code Keeper series. Go get it. Because it's all about the mixing of this, how do they say, inferior. Let's just say inferior frequency. You're mixing an inferior frequency into your high vibration, into your oath, mainly with HaWah, but definitely with a man and a woman. You're mixing something else in of a low, downward spiral. It's all about this admixture, man. You got to keep your oath and your relationships pure water. Neither shall you steal, neither shall you bear false witness, which leads to more murder. Neither shall you covet, which means you want somebody else's things like their wife, their house, whatever. That leads to more murder because somebody's coveting everything because they're hypnotized with hatred. Hypnotized with hatred. And red stockings, my knock. You know what I'm saying? Hypnotized with it. Covetous. We'll get there. We'll go right there. Maybe on the next one, we're going to hit straight into covetousness, man. Look out for part number 4. These words are spoken to all your assemblies. So we got the drop. Not the world, Israel. The assembly in the mount out of the midst of fire. We're talking dragons, right? Of the cloud and the thick darkness with the great voice, and it went on no more, and he wrote them upon 2 tables of stone and gave them unto me. And it came to pass when you heard the voice out of the midst of the darkness, while the mountain did burn with fire, that you came near unto me, even all your heads of your tribes and your elders And you said, behold, HaWah, our power, has shown us his glory and his greatness. Because keeping the code is great and it's full of glory for HaWah. It's the relationship we're building. And we have heard his voice out of the midst of the fire. We have seen this day that HaWah does speak with man and he lives. Choose life. Because HaWah will be popping up about these volcanoes. It will be popping off. This fire will be popping off. You know, he made a covenant with that rainbow. I'm not going to destroy the world. I'm not going to flood it out. But that Sodom and Gomorrah, that fire, them dragons, yeah, we popping off. Numbers chapter 35, my naga, we talking about mortar. Let's get it. Halal HaWah. All praise our frequency that they've tried to hide from us so that we have no more remembrance. Verse 31. Moreover, you shall take no ransom for the life of a murderer that is guilty of death, but he shall surely be put to death. So this is the cycle of death. We're just getting it so we see it repeated, repeat witnesses. We're talking Moshe right here, right? So you shall take no ransom for him that is fled his city of refuge, that he should come again to dwell in the land until the death of the priest. So you shall not pollute the land where you are, for blood, it pollutes the land. Big point right here. Big point right here. That this bloodshed is polluting our land, which is why it's cursed. Which is why you don't have no land. You know what I'm saying? You know, even buying land, we still got to get like the allodial title. And, you know, it's you still paying taxes. Like, man, this is all, you know, we're getting ourselves in position. You know, we're making naga moves, but we see clearly at the same time. You know what I mean? But first you got to get it and you got to get on it and you got to at least start, you know, making them type of moves. You know, you can't be dejected because you're like, well, what's the point of buying land? Because you're not going to truly own it. You got to pay. Well, yeah, there's other ways you can go about things and, you know, you can look up into the sovereign flow and all that. But my naga, keep the code on your land and you're going to be straight. But you can't pollute your land with innocent blood. Now, you protecting yourselves. Hey, killing is not murder. Killing is not murder. Murder is the, how does it say in 1828? The act of unlawfully killing a human being with premeditated malice. So if you're on your land, you know what I'm saying, you know, a hijack popping up trying to cause destruction, you didn't meditate on that hijack coming to jam you up. You know what I'm saying? You didn't meditate on no one infiltrating your house. You're reacting, you're protecting, you know, that's called self-defense, even in their law, right? But the one that came upon you has premeditated malice to destroy, to put an end to. So you should not pollute the land wherein you are. For blood, it pollutes the land, and no expiation can be made for the land, for the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. And thou shalt not defile the land which you inhabit, my naga, no more murder. In the midst of which I dwell, for I, HaWah, dwell in the midst of the children of Israel. HaWah is dwelling in your midst. Be on your best behavior and stop murdering. See each other as innocent instead of guilty, even when it hurts, even when they're the top op. They are innocent. They have been deceived. Their souls have been tampered. Their frequency has been cut off. It doesn't mean they're dead. They have life in them. They have Ahab. They got love in them, and they can make a choice. And I'm asking all the real ones, old and young, to make choices, to make the choice, because HaWah is in our midst, and we shall not defile our land no more, where we inhabit. We're defiling our land with this murder. We're defiling our land with all this killing. Premeditated, wicked. And this is why, by the blood of him that shed it, becomes the cycle. A cycle that can be broken when we choose up. Genesis chapter 9. I love this right here because it's, really kind of makes that cycle, that picture come even clearer in let's get in verse 5. And surely your blood of your lives will I require. At the hand of every beast will I require it. And at the hand of man, even at the hand of every man's brother, will I require. That cycle pop off even clear. It's not just your hand, it's your brother's hand. That the blood is now required because of the blood shed. Whoso sheds man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. Right? This is what we got. So we're talking about the innocent. You're not innocent if you know better, you don't do better. If you don't know better, if you don't know no better, maybe there's a way. You know what I'm saying? But now that you know, even if you knew before, but now you see clear, like you say, HaWah, I see clearly. Now I know. You know what I'm saying? Now I know that I can let go of these old stale ass emotions, and I can say we're all in one system, and with one consent, we can make a choice like they made a choice with one consent to murder us. We can choose with one consent not to murder each other, and see the power, see the fruitfulness, see the multiplication on this earth that Nagas have because of the covenant that HaWah has made with us, with Noah and his seed after him. It's a choice we're making. This cycle has been magnified, and they hide behind their straw man, behind their police forces, behind their alphabet situations, and they act like they're enforcing law, like they have law. Their law was formed based on treacherous, heartless, cold murder. Cold murder. This first European emperor who looks just like you treacherously murdered these Nagas. And is still, to this day, hating. Still hating. Verse 16, Proverbs 6. There are 6 things which HaWah hates. Because if they hate, surely HaWah can hate too, right? Yeah, 7 which are an abomination unto him. That's why he hated, because they're an abomination. Haughty eyes. Oh, I know some eyes that's pretty haughty. Hey, for the dismount, man, we're just talking Haughty Eye Charles. From now on, your name is Haughty Eye Charles. Yeah, HEC. What the heck? HEC. What the heck is you thinking? HEC? Haughty Eye Charles? What the heck is you thinking, man? Let's go, man. Haughty eyes. HaWah hates. A lying tongue. Because this lie leads to something. These lies, like the false witnesses, we'll get that in, another part in our Code Keeper series. And the hands that shed innocent blood. HaWah hates this. This is why the cycle is continued, and this is why we can only break it. And it starts with us, my Naga, because those are still our young homies, and at the end of the day, they still looking. You can't say they ain't looking because they follow our path. And they can't say they ain't looking because, the minute they ain't got no big homies and nobody that's looking out for them, they say, man, I ain't never had nobody look out for me, which means that you were actually looking for someone to look out for you. So even if they say they ain't paying attention and they don't need nobody, they still looking for someone that can tell them, man, look, you don't want to be on this side of hate. What we're doing is an abomination. We've been tricked. We've been fooled that it's okay. It's okay. This is cool. This is what's cool. I got this many bodies. Shit, I'm a real one. He's one of them ones right there. He caused so much destruction. He shed so much blood. He's one of them ones, right? A heart that devises wicked thoughts, feet that are swift to run and run into evil, swift to slide, swift to be lurking, swift to catch another body. A false witness that breathes out lies, which is why hates a lying tongue, because with these lying witnesses, these false witnesses are never behind. This is with this lying tongue, these false witnesses are never behind. And with that false witness comes more innocent bloodshed, because you're a false witness. You just wanted to destroy your brother in your own snake way, whispering lies, breathing out lies, things that are not true, things you're not a witness to, just to cause some type of character conflict of destruction, just to shed the blood of the innocent, hoping for your downfall. Physical blood, spiritual blood, energy, frequency. You're cutting off these nagas from their frequency. You're shedding innocent blood. You're spreading lies that cut nagas off. If you lead one naga astray, if one person gets led astray by your lies, that's murder, my naga. That's innocent bloodshed. And HaWah hates that. Because these are the 6 things HaWah hates. Haughty eyes, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked thoughts. Wicked thoughts. A heart that devises wicked thoughts. How to slay my neighbor, how to slay my brother. Wicked thoughts. Feet that are swift and running to evil. A false witness makes the list out of the top 6 that HaWah hates. Breathing out lies. And he that sows discord, because your lies cause to discord, disunity. While they make one consent, we can't make one consent because we got discord among brethren because of the false witness. All started at the haughty eyes. Haughty-eyed Charles. What the heck is you thinking? And what is you saying with that lying tongue? Did you call these people savages? Did you say they're not Christians? They're just savages. Do they look like savages, Charles, or do they look like nobles, regal Negroes with a whole entire kingdom, customs, spirituality? What happened? You cut them off from being a nation. Ezekiel chapter 18. Because we popping off, my naga, because you popping off. And when you popping off, it's all happening. Please believe that, man. We in here. We got a few more for the dismount. Ezekiel chapter 18. Let's get it right here, man. I love y'all. I'm doing this for the AHOB. Up at 6 in the morning, popping off. Top of the soul. Because I'm doing it for the AHOB. You know what I mean? Halal HaWah for the energy, for the frequency, for the vibration, for the tribe, for the Shabbatah. Fill us with Ama Abba. Fill our vessels. Feed your flock. Halal HaWah. Verse 32. Let's get it. Cast away from you all your transgressions. So you got the transgressions. We all got our transgressions. How do you cast them away? How do you get out of your own way? How do you break the loop? Let's get it back in verse 30. Therefore I will judge you. Whoa, let's get it whoa. Let's get it right here in verse 28. Because he considers and turns away from all his transgressions that he has committed, he shall surely live and not die. My naga. My naga. Hey, this is good news. You got transgressions like murder, right? You got transgressions. You've participated in the premeditated malice, right? You've been lurking. You've been sliding. You could stop, my naga. We could stop. Verse 27 again, when the wicked man turns away from his wickedness that he committed and does that which is lawful and right, he shall save his soul alive. It's not over for you. That's why you can break the spell and convince others to do the same and give them the ahab and show them the power of love, man, the power of the truth. That is not personal and it wasn't personal. We can get over this because it wasn't personal. We were hypnotized. We were caught in a spell. We hated for no reason. We were no better than the HEC. We were no better than this Charles here, this Roman emperor that came to America and slayed Americans. We were in that same spell of death, hypnotized with haughty eyes, haughty-eyed Charles. But it ain't over because of that iniquity. It ain't over. Yet you say the way of HaWah is not equal. Here now, O house of Israel, because I'm talking to the tribe, not Moab, not everybody. I'm just talking to Israel. I mean, HaWah is just talking to Israel. Is it my way that is not equal? Is it not your ways that are unequal? When the righteous man turns away from his righteousness and commits iniquity, he shall die therefore, for his iniquity that he has done shall he die. Again, when the wicked man turns away from his wickedness, you see, when a righteous man turns away from righteousness and starts breaking the code, specifically murder, he shall surely die. he shall. He shall he die, right? Again, when the wicked man, though. So if you have been out of code and you decide to choose up and turn away from that wickedness, all that murder, right? All that lurking, all that death, you could walk away from. Young Naga, old Naga, in between Nagas, everybody, sisters, and does not and does that which is lawful. So you KTC, just like we just read, what they call the 10 Commandments, which we know as the 9 Code, because that first commandment, no power before your power, no graven images, are all one code, one commandment. So it's really 9. But let's get it. If you keep this 9 code, do what is lawful, you shall save your soul alive. You can live. You don't got to be in the spell of death because they're marketing for your death. Because he considered and turned away from all his transgression. This ain't in the New Test. This is Ezekiel, my nigga. Sound like some JC talking now, right? Phantoms, duplications, but Yosef already taught us this. You've been doing wrong, but you can save your soul alive. Because you're considering, you're a con that's considering. You're a con that's considering. You're now meditating, as they've premeditated, on your murder. You're now meditating on turning away from that murder. He shall surely live. So you can choose a sure death, or you can choose to surely live. He shall not die. He shall not die, my nugget. If you turn away from this murder, yet says the house of Israel, the way of HaWah is not equal. O house of Israel, is my ways. Is it my ways that are not equal? Is it not your ways that are unequal? Don't blame me for your inequality. I wanted to make you the head, not the tail. Therefore, I will judge you, because you were the righteous that turned away from righteousness. This is why you're judged to this day. Therefore, I will judge you. Who? Hasharah, Israel, right? Everyone according to his ways, says HaWah, our power. Return to what? Your righteousness that you turned away from. At one point you were in code, man. At one point you were in code. You kept the code. This ain't foreign to you. Drop ain't saying nothing foreign. I'm helping you remember, because someone cut you off from being a nation so that the name of Israel is no longer in remembrance. You turned away from righteousness. Now turn back, my naga. Return you and turn yourselves from all your transgression. So shall they not be a stumbling block of iniquity. You don't have to stumble over this death no more, man. You can get out of it. You thought it was impossible until now. Make a choice. You might as well try. You might as well try. And when you do, HaWah takes 100 more steps towards you to pick you up so that you have no more stumbling block of iniquity. No more murder. Cast away from you all your transgressions. Therefore, wherein you have transgressed, and make you a new heart and a new ruach, a new spirit. That murderous spirit can be replaced with a new spirit. That murderous heart can be replaced with a new heart. Halal HaWah. I said Halal HaWah. For why will you die? Why choose death, my naga? O house of Israel, for I have no pleasure in the death of him that dies. I don't want to see this no more. I don't need your sacrifice, says HaWah. Wherefore turn yourselves and live. Make a change. Make you a new heart and a new spirit. Why will you die? Israel, we talking to you, because they cut you off from being a nation, so the name of Israel is remembered no more. They've made a crafty counsel. They've made one consent against you, Roman Emperor, coming to America. No more stumbling block. No more violence on each other. Premeditated violence. We can make this change with a few real ones. We get a few real ones that had a murderous heart, they have a new heart. That had a murderous spirit, to have a new ruach, to choose life. And you see it's going to be like a domino effect of Ahab popping off around here, protected in the cold, protected in the armor, because HaWah is our refuge and HaWah is our rock. And if you have a murderous heart, and if you've been premeditated, thinking about plotting against your neighbor because of your hypnotized, hypnosis with hatred and envy and covetousness, You can have a new heart, my nugget. I love you. I love you, man. You can have a new rock. We can all have a new rock together. We could be of one consent. Choose to ride for HaWah and choose to bang this code of the DC and turn up for HaWah. You know what I mean? It's very simple because Exodus 20 got us in code. Like I said, it started with tribal war. You know, it started with the covenants. Same way they got covenants to this very day. Genesis 4, chapter 8, verse 8. And Cain spoke up unto Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. You know, if we read the story as the story is being transcribed, you know, then it appears Cain thought about killing Abel before he killed Abel. This is why it's called murder. And HaWah said to Cain, where's Abel, your brother? He says, I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper? Bang. And this became the cycle of not being our brother's keeper no more. This began the cycle of the more on more war, of cutting each other off from being a nation. It's been tribal war ever since. It's been more and more ever since. They're both considered great ones, right? Nagas and Nagaville, they both are more. I want more. I want more spinach, my naga. Give me more spinach on my plate. I want a greater amount of spinach, you know. I am more. But we became like, I want more than you. Oh, you got more than me? Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm not my brother's keeper. You got more than me. More what? More land, more Ahab, more love. Oh, you got more love than me? Oh, I don't like that. This nigga come around here getting all this love for. Oh, he got more love than us? Oh, you representing my city? Oh, nah, I'm not my brother's keeper. I don't like that, dog. Be on your belly flow, man. You know, oh, shit, I don't like that. I don't like that. He over here getting money? I don't like that. Nah, I ain't my brother's keeper. Whatever he do, he do. Exactly right. Exactly. Choose life. Choose a new heart. Choose a new spirit. Let's get a couple more. We got Numbers. And then we're going to get Leviticus. Let's get it right here, man. All praise HaWah. All praise HaWah. All praise HaWah. The book of Numbers, chapter 25. 25, because we're going to stay alive with my tribe. We're going to survive. Our only savior is the framer shaper. Our only savior is the chef and the maker, mixing them ingredients so we rise up expedient, popping off with a cold because we been old, man. Let the five eyes mind, man. I'm just freestyling facts. Where we at? We at Numbers? All right, let's get on Numbers 35. Actually, we got this one already. We dug on the that's 25. We dug on Numbers 35. But you know, I got it on here twice for a reason. So repetition breaks the spell. Verse 33, so you shall not pollute the land. And I'm glad we needed this reminder. Because while you over here, you know, causing the destruction, you know what I mean, materializing with this destruction, we're polluting our salvation. You know, we're polluting the land. We're cursing the land for our children. we got to think about our children. I mean, that's one of my last points is that if you don't do it for yourself because, maybe you're too weak just to make that choice right now, and that's really what it is. It's a strong choice we got to make. I don't care how gangster you think you are. We hella weak if we don't have no order, man. You know what I mean? It ain't no greater order than this code. This code we're keeping. So let's stop being weak. Let's get into order and stop polluting our land so it won't be cursed, so our children could thrive, man. Do it for the generations. You think you cursed because of all the killing? You're hypnotized with hatred because of all the vengeance that's in your heart. You don't even know why you're killing no more. You just a killer. You just a murderer. You just a mortarer. Do it for the children so they ain't gotta be like you. Put the guns down, my knock. Put the knives down. You gotta catch a friendly fade, catch a friendly fade, If you're out of pocket, you're out of pocket, you know what I mean? If you gotta get the open hand palm, you gotta get Will Smith, Will Smith, man, oh man, that's a whole nother thing, man. You know what I mean? But all I can say about Chris Rock is that he on some level took a W. He could have retaliated, if it's real. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But he chose to break the cycle and say, all right, maybe I had that coming. Hey, I don't think it was right, but, maybe you're innocent, Will Smith. Maybe you just are going through so much pressure. Maybe it wasn't really personal. Maybe it was just a bad joke at a bad time. Let me not pollute the land with your blood. Because as you know, like I know, where we come from, ain't no greater disrespect a man could give another man than an open hand palm slap, my night. You know what I'm saying? That leads to bloodshed most of the time. You know what I'm saying? So all I can say is, hey, hop to Chris Rock. He said he ain't pressing charges. He gonna, move on with life. I pray that, it's all good. If that's a real thing, that's a real thing. I don't know, man. But that's an example of breaking the cycle. Yeah, you can say, oh man, you a punk, you a bitch, you a this, I would do this, I would do that. Well, yeah, that's why we continue to pollute the land. Continue to pollute the land. So, AI for choosing up, man. Chris Rock, man. It says, thou shalt not defile the land which you inhabit in the midst of which I dwell. And again, HaWah's dwelling. The frequency is here. The frequency is here. And on the flip side, with Will, we got to be defenders of what's real. You know what I mean? Things have consequences, and that's just what it is. But it don't have to be taken there all the time. It ain't got to be taken to the violence, and it definitely don't got to be taken to bloodshed. Because we got to stop polluting the land, because HaWah is dwelling in the midst of where we inhabit. So we got to represent for HaWah. For I, HaWah, dwell in the midst of the children of Israel. This is why they're hypnotized with hatred. Because the Creator wasn't dwelling with Moab as a whole. Some were choosing up, they got Baruch. Others were on this Atlantean flow, and Atlantis fell. Atlantis was destroyed for a reason. You can't keep worshiping the same gods of destruction from Atlantis and expect not to keep reaping destruction. And they know that, which is why they put the spell on the noggin, so that we can destroy ourselves. But HaWah dwells in the midst of the children of Hasharah. So we got to turn up for HaWah. We got to represent our code. Last one we'll get is Leviticus. All praise HaWah. Leviticus chapter 24, verse 17. This has been a Yapa Code Keeper series thus far. We're in part 3, taking the time. I put space between these so you can meditate on it. We don't got to go too far. We could talk, or too fast. We could talk adultery. And, we could talk, vanity. Now we're talking murder. Next time we'll be talking covetousness, and go right into the false witness and pull all that together, right? Because this leads to the bloodshed. So it's not just a false witness, it's what it leads to. It's the lying lips and the haughty eyes, what it leads to. The covetous, what it leads to. Out of code, Nagas worshiping other powers, what does it lead to? You're out of code. And if you're out of code, you're back to the murderous, adulterous, harlotry, thievery, stealing each other's things, jacking, sliding. Let's get it, man. Leviticus 24, chapter 24, 17. Let's pop off. For the dismount, my naga, and he that smites any man mortally shall surely be put to death. And he that smites a beast mortally shall make it good life for life. So you're not even supposed to smite nobody's animal or whatever beast mortally, because you're going to have to pay life for life. And if a man maim his neighbor as he has done, so shall it be done to him. Breach for breach, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. So this is like another, perspective of really this cycle. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. That's law. Bloodshed for bloodshed. That's law. And that code, that law is in it so much that we take that vengeance on ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We retaliate just at the thought of a back, getting even. But taking a step back, you see that you're in the system and that the innocence is there. And it's a choice we can make in 2022 to keep the code. It's a choice. That code, that HaWah, that the frequency of life is bigger than your vengeance and your hate. It's bigger than your ego, because you don't want to be looked at a certain way. You don't want to be seen as weak. You don't want to be seen as this. You don't want to be looked at and talked about. Well, you choose. You definitely don't want to get swept up and swallowed up with the death that HaWah is removing from the earth. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. As he has maimed a man, so shall it be rendered unto him. And he that kills a beast shall make it good, and he that kills a man shall be put to death. You shall have one manner of law, as well for the stranger as for the homeborn. So this law that they're putting on us is an abomination. We have a law. We have one manner of law. That's HaWah's law. That's HaWah's code. They got false codes. You got codes that bring you life. As for the homeborn, I am HaWah, your power. And Moshe spoke to the children of Israel, Managa. This code has always and only been for you. The strangers will learn it through you. You learn it directly from the source, that is HaWah, our breath of security. And they brought forth him that had cursed out the camp, and stoned him with stones. And the children of Israel did as HaWah commanded Moshe. You know how we feel about these pedophiles. You know how we feel about these, child molesters or murderers and all this stuff. They deserve nothing but the worst of the worst of the worst of destruction, right? That's how HaWah also feels about the shedding of an innocent Naga. But we have become so jaded and so hypnotized in hatred that we lost our ability to see each other as innocent. So we think we're beast. But even the beast has recompense. He that kills a beast shall make it good. Aren't you better than the beast? If the beast has recompense, if you can make good on killing, you know, if you have to make it good, if you just can't kill a beast with no repercussion, how can you kill a Naga? If HaWah's gonna get back, even if it's not death, but you're gonna make it good, and how you just kill a Naga with no recompense, no repercussion? It's because a Naga, even to the Naga, has been relegated below a beast. You see each other as worse than beast. You wouldn't go around killing horses. Oh no, man, don't kill that horse. You see that horse higher than you see your op, right? Then you see another nigga. That nigga is lower than that horse. That lets us know we're under the worst type of demonic spell, and the name of Israel is remembered no more. But Moshe spoke to Israel. So why don't you remember? Why not choose life, my nigga? What did it say in Ezekiel? You can have all these transgressions. You still have a choice to make. Don't say, oh, I've done so much. There's nothing I can do. You still have a choice to make. HaWah can use your vessel to save so many, to show them what them trenches is like and what they can avoid and how to get up out of it like you got up out of it, and how to keep this code. You can make this code the coolest thing to do in the neighborhood, man. The coolest thing to do in your city. The coolest thing to do in your block. You can make this code the wave, man, because it is the wave. Because we got that water. Halal HaWah. Return. Turn yourselves from all your sins, your transgressions, your murder. Stop the cycle. Stop sliding. Stop killing and stop lurking. So shall they not be a stumbling block of iniquity unto you. Because the wicked man, when he turns away from his wickedness and does what is lawful and right, he shall save his soul alive. Because you considered it, man. Just by considering the KTC, considering the K, to keep the code, keep commandments of the Creator. You're turning away from all of your sins, man. You're saving yourself. You are now your own savior. Because you made a choice. So why I said good, you turned away from your sins, your transgressions that you committed, that's weighing you down. You turned away. He shall surely live. He shall not die. I'm still talking to the house of Israel, whether I'm talking Numbers, Leviticus, or Ezekiel. Managa, this is still about you, which is why they hate you. Because the code is you. Turn away. Do what is lawful. Keep the code. And save your soul alive, Managa. Anytime you need to code up, just remember what we always say as we continue our Code Keeper series. Hitting on that covetous, and I'm not even going in any particular order, in terms of, 1 through 10, but it is an order in terms of the wave, you know what I mean? And I'm presenting it in the way the wave needs to hear it right now, the way that the order the Nagas need to hear it right now. We've been talking about no power for your power the whole time, so we might conclude with this one this time. We might get this last because, maybe it's gonna make a lot more sense that way once you get it. But we just surfing the wave. We preparing you so you can truly understand no power before your power, to put no other power before me. So it won't lead to no more of this jealousy. You don't have to open a door to the hatred if you keep these gods out the way and just rely on the Creator and keep the code. Stop taking your breath in vain, man. Keep your Shabbat. Honor your father and mother above, Manag, so your days will be long. Don't murder. Thou shalt not murder. No more innocent blood. No more mixing fake, false frequencies with our frequencies. No more adultery. Thou shalt not steal. No more jacking. No more thieving. No more plotting. No bearing false witness. Don't speak on something that don't concern you, that you're not an eyewitness to, that you don't understand. Don't just speak on it to speak on it, because it leads to murder. Murder of character. Murder of your ruach, your energy. Murder of your body. Thou shalt not covet your neighbor's house, your stuff, his things, his car, his house, his wife. Because that leads to adultery, which leads to murder, which is also like stealing somebody's wife, right? See how it all is one thing. And how is that giving honor to your frame and your shape of your father and your mother? Huh? How is that allowing you to rest with all that murder on your hand? How can you truly rest on the Shabbat? You got to be on the move, right? You can't rest. It's all vain to you because you're in the system. It ain't even personal, but you feel like it is. It's vanity. Even your emotions are vanity because you disconnected from your source and you put that hatred before HaWah. You put your friends and your homies before HaWah. You put your neighborhood before HaWah. Your neighborhood is your God. Then you lost that rule number one, and you wonder why they lurking for you. We KTC, we keep the code. You know, I get emotional, but it's not vanity. I'm really emotional because this is, you know, what we're doing right here, right now is like our last call to these Nagas to, you know, truly come up out of that spell, to truly wake up, to truly become aware of your decisions and truly choose up. They've been lurking on us. They put us in a system, and now they're benefiting off of our death and marketing our death. Who's running the music industry? Charles is, man. HEC, Haughty Eye Charles. But we keep the code because Exodus 20 got us in code. Because after you get this covetous out your heart bone, you know, rule number 9 in the 9 code, all the people perceived the thunderings, the lightnings, the voice of the horn, the mountain smoking. People saw it, they trembled, they stood afar, because this wasn't no play. It was all popping off, and it was all happening when this code was truly made foundational for the tribe of Hasharah. And these mountains are going to smoke again. As this code gets reestablished, this mountain's going to smoke. The thunderings and lightnings are going to pop off, and the voice of the horn will sound. And I ain't talking revelations. I'm talking Drakan Kun. I'm talking reality. The people said unto Moses, speak with us, and we will hear, but don't let HaWah speak with us, because we going to die, because HaWah ain't on no play. The mountains are smoking. We don't want to go nowhere near that. But now you fear your gang, or you fear your hood, or you fear what people think of you more than the Creator. But when you when you were looking at this mountain smoking, you understood what, you know, fear really was. You know what I'm saying? You understood, you know, what trembling really was. Moshe said unto the people, fear not, for HaWah has come to prove you. Hey, we're being proven. This is our proven ground, and we choose life. And that his fear may be before you, that you not sin. So HaWah don't want you to murder no more. So he gonna shake you up just like your daddy would, so that you straighten up. Just like Big Mama would, so that you straighten up. Not because they don't love you, because they do love you. And they don't want you to choose death. And the people stood far away, but Moses drew near into the thick darkness where HaWah was. Whoa. You imagine walking through thick darkness to HaWah with no fear? I'm talking about the Prestas, man. We're talking about Moshe, right? Because he did it for the tribe. He did it for the tribe. And we choose life. And you choose life because you choose to, choose that new heart. You choose to save your soul alive. A lot of us didn't know we could have a new heart popping off, a new spirit popping off. Cast away your transgressions whereas you have transgressed, and make you a new heart and a new spirit. Anaga, this is the question of the year. Why will you die? Why will you die? Why choose death, house of Hasharah? Copper colored Khan or Baruch Khan? Why choose death? Why not choose a new spirit? Why not choose a new heart when you can cast away your transgressions and live? You turn yourselves and live. Because HaWah takes no pleasure in the death of us no more, man. Never did. He takes no pleasure in death at all. But there's recompense for the frequency that we put out. And in that way, we have to feel what we feel to know who to fear. Not about being scared, but, we have to fear the recompense. We got to fear what happens next. You got to fear that belt. You got to fear, Big Mama's hand. You know what I'm saying? You got to know that there's recompense for being out of code in your house. I'm just talking to the house of Israel. For I have no pleasure in the death of him that dies, says HaWah, wherefore. So turn yourselves and live. Turn yourselves from all your transgressions so that so that they not be a stumbling block of iniquity unto you. And when you cast away all that murder, all that hatred, all that covetousness, all that false witnessing, you cast that out your heart, you got a new heart. And this ain't no Christianity. It's frequency, energy, and vibration. You got a new Ruach. And my Naga, why will you die? Halal HaWah for the code of life, for the realities that bring life to our situation, no matter how murky it is, no matter how bad we've been and have become. We can always turn. We can always turn ourselves and live. All praise to HaWah, our most high power, ancient head of days, our ancient love song, our breath of security, our framer, our shaper, our chef, and our maker. Mama got the ingredients. Abba got the foundational security, the protection, the armor, and it's all one. That's the consent. That's the true, one consent that we're looking for. The unity, our breath and our security in our body and our children's bodies. This is what we're doing for. I know it's hard out here, my Nagas, and I know, for some, it's just too much, They've gone too far. I get that. But I'm just here to remind you that you can never go too far, that, you can turn. And HaWah has a purpose for you. Making a choice now, it's a brand new year. And it's time to try it a different way, another way, a way that brings life, not death, man. Be a fighter for life. Because they've meditated on our death. And they're marketing off our death. They're glorified in our death. They've been longing with haughty eyes on our death. They've cut us off from being a nation to bring us certain perpetual death. They've meditated with due meditation to bring perpetual servitude to the copper-colored khans in America and all the khans all across the earth plane. We are one with one consent. We keep the code. We KTC. We MHOE. And stay dripping in that man sauce. Hey, stay up, suit up, choose up, code keeper.